All right. Shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah, Quitash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who have taught me this truth and who rule well in this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and mercy unto you, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the true chosen people of the book. All right, so let's get into some news, man. Let's get into some prophecy, all right? So I got this article from the People's Voice, all right? And the title of this article reads, Catherine Austin Fitts, all right? Rothschild's demonic programmable money will enslave humanity. All right, that's going into the mark of the beast, man. All right, the mark of the beast being the RFID microchip, the digital chocolate chip that the elites want to implant under your skin to enslave you. All right, that's part of the New World Order agenda. All right, which is the microchip, all right, which the whole point is to enslave all of humanity with that technology, with the microchip. All right, that's the plan of the elites, to bring forth a new world order, and part of that new world order, all right, is to enslave everyone, all right, through the technology, which is the RFID microchip, which is biblical prophecy known as the mark of the beast in the Bible. All right, and indeed, for certain and for surety, all right, the RFID microchip is the mark of the beast. All right, we're telling you with great surety, with great certainty. All right, the Israelites of Great Millstone and the ones that teach in like manner. All right, the mark of the beast is the RFID microchip. All right, so let's get into it. All right, Catherine Austin Fitts, Rothschild's demonic programmable money will enslave humanity, and it is demonic. It's wicked as hell. All right, because they get their power from the left hand side, which is Satan. All right, the elite bankers. All right, the Jewish elite Edomite banking families. All right, so let's get into it. It says Catherine Austin Fitts, former Assistant Secretary of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, has warned of an impending financial tsunami that will permanently enslave humanity. Yeah, that's going into the mark of the beast, man. All right, because something is going to happen where, the elites are going to systematically collapse the entire economy, not just here in Babylon, but this entire world. All right, the global economy is going to collapse, man. All right, and therefore the mark of the beast is going to be ushered out and made mandatory and permanent under the punishment of death. All right, which the mark of the beast is the RFID microchip. All right, this is going to come upon all the earth. All right, like the scriptures say. Let's get it real quick. All right, Revelation, the 3rd chapter. All right, Revelation 3 and 10. These are the words of Yahweh. You see these words are in red, right? So it says, Revelation 3 and 10, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, which means, doing this work, feeding and teaching the sheep, all right, diligently, all right. Revelation 3 and 10, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. Yeah, because we have to serve the Lord, right? Because we have served the Lord and worshiped him, all right, and kept his testimony and exalted his name to the clouds, and we fed and we taught the sheep like the Lord has commanded, all right, because what did the Lord say? What did the Lord tell Peter 3 times? All right, if you love me, feed my sheep. All right, so we showed the Lord that we love him by feeding the sheep, man. All right, this is how we clothe Yahweh Shai. This is how we feed Yahweh Shai. That parable that Yahweh Shai spoke. When I was hungry, ye fed me. When I was cold, you clothed me. Right? That's a metaphor for doing this work. Right? So we love Yahweh Shai by feeding his sheep, doing what he has commanded, going out to the highways and hedges. That's Luke 14th the chapter. Go out to the highways and hedges, right? So, because we done the work, we had the faith. The Lord said that he's going to keep thee from the hour of temptation. Let's read that again in Revelation 3:10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. The hour of temptation is when this the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip, this digital chocolate chip that the elites want to implant under your skin, is made mandatory. That's the hour of temptation. That's when this whole earth is going to be tempted. This is what it all boils down to. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. Yeah, so if we're of the elect, we did this word, we did this work, we did what we're supposed to do. We did as what we prophesied and did as we have commanded. All right. If we end up pleasing the Heavenly Father, the Lord is going to keep us from that hour of temptation. The Lord is going to put it in our minds to say, fuck that shit, man. Chop my damn head off. The Lord is going to put that spirit upon us, man. Kill me, chop my head off, man. Because you are not to take the mark of the beast. You are not to take the RFID microchip. If you do, you're basically Satan's bitch. You're bowing down to Esau, Edom. You have rejected the Heavenly Father, whose true name is Yahweh, through his son Yahweh Shai. If you take the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip, you have rejected Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. And you are to be destroyed by thermonuclear destruction if you take that chip. All right? I'm talking to the elect of you. You are not to take the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip, the digital chocolate chip that the elites want to implant under your skin to enslave you, to have complete control over you. All right? So it says, let's keep reading. Revelation 3:10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world. All right, that was the point. Which shall come upon all the world. This is going to be a global thing. All right, because Esau, Edom knows that the elect, all right, the Israelites, the true Israelites, all right, we're scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. So this is going to come upon all the world to try them, man. All right. He wants to enslave everybody, man. All right. All right. That's the plan of the elite bankers. All right. The satanic Illuminati Jewish elite Edomite banking families. All right. That's part of their new world order, to enslave this entire earth through their technology, which is the RFID microchip, which is biblical prophecy, which is the mark of the beast in the Bible. All right? Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them. You see, that dwell upon the earth. So all this world is going to be tried. All right? This is what it boils down to, man. All right? The mark of the beast, all right, the hour of temptation, all right. So that was the point I wanted to grab, which was what shall come upon all the world. It's going to be because the elites are going to systematically and manufacture this global collapse, man. The global economy is going to collapse, all right, because it has to be prophecy. The RFID microchip has to be ushered in, all right. So it says Catherine Austin Fitz, former assistant Secretary of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, has warned of an impending financial tsunami that will permanently enslave humanity, all right? And that's what the elites want to do, all right, with the RFID microchip. Complete control, all right? Watch the Aaron Russo interview he had with Alex Jones, which I done lessons on that video. Complete control, because he even tells you, all right? Aaron Russo, which is being interviewed by not Nick Rockefeller. Aaron Russo is being interviewed by Alex Jones, but Aaron Russo, who was a friend of Nick Rockefeller, had told him, all right, Nick Rockefeller told Aaron Russo that they want everyone chipped. They want everyone chipped, microchipped. All right. So this is a quote from Catherine Austin Fitz. It says, "What I call the Rothschild syndicate wants programmable money." Yeah, going into the RFID microchip. All right. What I call the Rothschild syndicate wants programmable money, and they don't want anyone stopping it. Yeah, that's their plan. That's their ultimate plan. All right. That's been their ultimate plan. All right. To enslave the entire planet Earth. That's part of their New World Order agenda. It's on the back of the dollar bill. All right. In front of your damn face. Right. What I call the Rothschild syndicate wants programmable money, and they don't want anybody stopping it. All right. Fitz said during an interview with Greg Hunter. All right. That's number one. The second thing is most people do not understand what is coming in terms of what the distributive ledger technology is going to do. Yeah, most of these people are brainwashed, brain dead, completely brain dead zombies, have no idea what is happening, what is going on, bro. Have literally no idea what is going on or what is happening. This entire earth. Only the true prophets and the true servants of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai know what's going on. All right, for real, for real. All right, it says that is number one. That's number one. The second thing is most people do not understand what is coming in terms of what the distributive ledger technology is going to do. The scriptures say that the earth is in gross darkness when you read Isaiah 60. All right, very gross darkness. This earth is in. People don't know what's happening, what's going on, man. All right? But the prophets, the prophets of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakah Kudash, right? We know exactly what's going on. I say we humbly. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Ratazah, I am of the elect. We know what's happening. We know what's going on. And the Lord set up men to teach and wake the elect, to pull the elect out of that gross darkness, man. It says that's number one. The second thing is most people do not understand what is coming in terms of what the distributive ledger technology is going to do, what it is going to do to the currency markets, to the stock and bond markets. It is bubble economics and also control. Yeah. All right. That's the whole point of the RFID microchip. That's the whole point of the mark of the beast. To have complete control over this entire planet Earth, to enslave everyone, complete and total control. All right. It says we are talking about something that is entirely demonic. See, right? All right. Let's continue reading. It says, she continued, all right, let me give you a few examples, Mr. Smith. This is the government calling, and we know you have 3 children. We want one of them transgendered. You can choose which one, but if you don't transgender one of them, we will turn off your money and you won't be able to feed your children. All right. And that like I said, it's going to all come down to the mark of the beast, man. All right. This whole entire earth is going to be tried. All right. And a lot of you, most of y'all, like the scriptures say, all right, shall I find faith on earth? All right. Roughly paraphrasing that scripture. All right. When this pops off, all right, when this pops off and it gets for real, listen, a lot of y'all gonna take that chip, man. All right. Because y'all gonna lack faith. You're right. You're gonna want your children to be fed. Right. You're not gonna want to starve you and your children. Right. So a lot of y'all gonna line up for that microchip willingly, man. It's gonna be a wrap for y'all. All right. It was destined for y'all to be destroyed. Y'all are of the 2/3. All right. You Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans. If you take that microchip, you are of the 2/3, and you are going to be destroyed by thermonuclear destruction. All right, the punishment for taking the mark of the beast is written in Revelation, the 14th chapter, the 9th verse. You are going to burn in fire and brimstone, which is these nuclear missiles that are going to hit this place you call America. All right. So it says you can choose one. See, yeah, because they're going to give you an ultimatum. They're going to give you an ultimatum. All right, that's going to either you take this chip or you don't. You know, people are going to want to be able to drive their cars, eat, buy food and, go places and do things. All right. But in order to do such things, you're going to have to take that microchip. Right. It says we want one of them transgender. You can choose which one, but if you don't transgender one of them, we will turn off your money and you won't be able to feed your children. Complete control. They could turn off your chip, your microchip. And you won't be able to buy nothing, eat nothing, right? It'll be over for you. All right? It says providing more examples, Fitz said, all right, it says you take the COVID shot, all right, you take the Bovid shot, or we turn your money off. You see? Complete control. Programmable money is spatial control as well. Yeah, that's going into the microchip, man. All right, it says if we went to a 15-minute city, your programmable money would not work outside the 15-minute city. Yeah, that's how they keep you trapped in an enclosed area. All right, so you're not able to escape, When this martial law pops off, you're in a closed area. You can't do nothing. Complete control. Enslaved, man. You can't go nowhere. You're done. You can't travel. You can't go far, right? That's the whole point of these 15-minute cities, right? They give you 15-minute cities so you can have everything you need within that little confined spot. It says if we went to a 15-minute city, your programmable money would not work outside the 15-minute city. All right. It's not just programmable money. All right. If you have an electric car and you try to leave the 15-minute city, your car will not work. You see? All right. The scriptures say they shall desire to go into another city and they shall not be able to. That's the vision that prophet Ezra seen in these last days. It says later the ex-HUD official encouraged lawmakers to help stop the dystopian monetary system by protecting cash or by putting up the guardrails now so a distributive ledger cannot be used to destroy human and constitutional rights. Well, listen, all that is going to go out the window, man. See, you got to understand, starting with the elite bankers, all right, the satanic Illuminati elite Edomite banking families, all right, they control anything. They do what they want. The earth is given into their hands. All right, they control all the lawmakers and government. They literally control nations. Wars don't start unless they give the green light. They control wars. They have so much power that they even determine the outcome of wars. So according to prophecy, this is going to happen, man. It's prophecy, man. You can't stop it. The Lord gave him that power. It's ultimately, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. But the Lord is using Esau, all right, to bring forth his word, all right, his prophecy to come to pass. It says, according to Fitz, another way to hedge, all right, against programmable money is by investing in gold, all right, which she called very attractive, suggesting, all right, everybody should have a core position, all right, but all that's going to be out the window too as well, all right, because the whole money system is going to collapse, right? It's either you take the MOTB or you don't. All right, and the elect is not going to take the MOTB, man. All right, that's why they are the elect. You have the vision of the prophets. All right, Apostle John seen, the servants and the prophets of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai being beheaded for not taking the mark of the beast. And Lord willing, all right, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Raptazah, all right, I do have the chance and the honor to be beheaded for the name and the word of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. I want to be beheaded. I would rather be beheaded than to take the mark of the beast. All right? It's either you be beheaded or you get swallowed and engulfed and drowned in nuclear fire. All right? Because being beheaded, that's an automatic crown. Dying for the name of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai and for his word and his testimony, that's an automatic crown. That's an automatic crown, bro. That's a first class ticket to the kingdom of heaven. All right? Being beheaded for the name of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, for his testimony, his word, this work, you know? And the Lord said, listen, let's get it. The Lord said, be faithful unto death, and I shall give thee a crown of life. That's an automatic crown, bro. All right, Revelation 2:9. These are the words of Yahweh Shai, right? It says, I know thy works. Matter of fact, no, verse 10. It's Revelation 2:10. It says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil, which is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, starting with the elite bankers, right? Trickling down all the way to these lesser luminaries, right? You know, you got these martial law troops, these UN troops, right? It says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil, which is Esau, Edom, shall cast some of you into prison. Yeah. Because, you know, we're going to be tried in these last days for not taking the MOTB. Oh, you don't want to take the MOTB? All right, well, we're going to throw you in these prisons, you know, these concentration camps to torture you and stuff like that, right? It says, behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison that ye may be tried. Yeah, you're going to be tried. You're going to be beaten, tortured, tested, right? It says, the devil shall cast some of you into prison that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. All right? The Lord said, be thou faithful unto death. All right? Some of us are going to be beheaded, tortured, all right, for not taking the MOTB, and it's going to cause us to be put to death. But the Lord said, be thou faithful unto death. We got to be faithful to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Do not take the mark of the beast. All right, the mark of the beast being the RFID microchip, the digital chocolate chip that the elites want to implant under your skin. Do not take it. I'm talking to the elect of you. All right. It says, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. Yeah, he that has an ear, let him hear. All right? Meaning, you know, if you can understand, you know, this understanding is only given unto the elect, man. You know? He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death. The second death is the lake of fire, the nuclear missiles that are going to drown America in this third world war. All right, that's the second death. All right, if you die for the name of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, for his word and his testimony, all right, if you die instead of taking the mark of the beast, you are not going to be hurt of the second death, all right? You are going to escape the lake of fire, the nuclear destruction that's going to be here, that's going to come here in America, that's going to drown and swallow and engulf Babylon, aka America. You're going to escape that. You're going to get beamed up into the chariots. You know? So we are to die, all right? And be faithful unto death, for the name of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. You understand? Okay? All right? The Lord said, be faithful unto death. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Those are powerful words. You know? Those are powerful words, man. coming from Yahweh Shai. And what did the Lord say? All right. For this is my beloved son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. So we are to hearken very closely to the words of Yahweh Shai. Yahweh said, this is my beloved son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. So we are to hearken closely, all right, and get very great understanding of what Yahweh Shai said. Yahweh Shai said, be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. All right. And the prophets, the scriptures say the prophets have not loved their lives unto death. You don't give a damn about their lives. The true life is the kingdom. The next life to come, the next world and age to come is going to be the true living, the true life. That's the crown of life Yahweh Shai talking about. And we are not to fear the sentence of death anyway. Ready? Let's get that. All right. Fear not the sentence of death, for this is what comes upon the flesh of all men. KJV. Roughly paraphrasing that verse, right? This is Ecclesiasticus 41:3. It says, fear not the sentence of death. Remember them that have been before thee and that come after. For this is the sentence of Yahweh over all flesh. All right. And death is nothing but the spirit separating from the body. All right. The spirit goes back to the Heavenly Father when you die. All right. Because all spirits are his. He created all spirits, and all spirits are returned back unto him. He created all spirits. All right. And all spirits return back unto him because he controls all spirits. All spirits are his. Right. That's what death is. All right. It's the spirits. It's just your spirit separating from the body. All right. And we're going to get that too as well. It says Ecclesiasticus 41:3. Fear not the sentence of death. Remember them that have been before thee and that come after. For this is the sentence of Yahweh over all flesh. All right. And when you grab Ecclesiastes, right, the last chapter, let's prove to you that, death is nothing but the spirit separating from the flesh, right? So you get Ecclesiastes 12:7. It says, then shall the dust return to the earth as it was. The dust is talking to your body, right? Because we were created from the dust of this earth. All right. We were created from this earth, and when we die to the earth, we shall return, right? It says, then shall the dust return to the earth as it was. All right. And that's why we have, there's certain elements and minerals in our body, all right, that are also inside the earth. All right. There's minerals and elements inside the earth that are also in our bodies because we come from the earth. All right. It says, then, that's why the Lord called us earth and ashes. Right. It says Ecclesiastes 12:7. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto God who gave it. So when you die, your body, your flesh goes back to the earth as it was. It says, and the spirit shall return unto God who gave it. Yeah, your spirit goes back to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh. All right? Because he created all spirits, and all spirits are his. So all spirits return to him. All right? That's why in the book of Hebrews, he's known as the Father of spirits. All spirits are his, and all spirits return unto him because they're his. All right. He created all spirits. All right. So it says, then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto the Most High who gave it. So your spirit goes back to the Heavenly Father when you die. So we're not to fear death, man. We might be scared, man. Yeah. We gonna shake a little bit, be nervous. When we get tried and put in that situation. But you got to understand the Lord, he not going to put you nothing you can't go through. The Lord's going to put that spirit upon you. He going to put it in your mind. He going to put that not give a fuck spirit on you, yo. Straight up. If you're of the elect, he gonna put that not give a fuck spirit upon you. Excuse my language, but that's real. All right? He gonna put that spirit upon you where you gonna say, yo, I don't even care, bro. You gonna be like, yo, take my head off, bro. You know? Some of you might have that let's do it, let's go, like take my head off. You know, you gonna be like that. Some of y'all gonna be real, and some of y'all just gonna be calm, like, yeah, bro, take my head off. Like, I'm with it, man. You know? Listen, bro, you know, if you're of the elect, the Lord gonna put that spirit upon you. All right, we are not to take the MOTB. We are not to take the RFID microchip. You are to die. All right, I'm talking to the elect of you. All right. So it says, let's keep reading, going back into this article, right? It says, according to Fitz, another way to hedge against programmable money is by investing in gold, which she called very attractive, suggesting everybody should have a core position, right? For general trend and direction, I don't know of a better trend and direction than gold and silver right now, she added, all right? Fitz also touched on the Iran war and potential for dramatic economic woes in the near future, all right? Yeah, this war is going to have it's going to target the economy. All right, it's already targeting the economy with the oil, you know, because you got the Strait of Hormuz, right, which is closed up, which is causing, which all the oil, you know, I think it's like 80% of the world's oil, something like that, goes through the Strait of Hormuz. All right, and it's closed up, which means this earth is not getting no oil. All right, oil's not being delivered and traveled throughout the world, and that's why these gas prices are almost you know, these gas prices are going up. Right here in Jersey is almost $4, right? When a couple weeks ago it was just like 2 something, right? And that's because, you know, it's this war is hitting the economy, and this war just might collapse the economy, right? To where the RFID microchip is going to be brought in, right? Fitz also touched on the Iran war and potential for dramatic economic woes in the near future, telling Hunter, yeah, in the near future, we don't got 10 years here, bro, all right? Telling Hunter, it says, we could see enormous dislocations, all right, in the food market with supply chains and prices going up. If this continues, we could be talking, especially in lower income countries, a real famine on a mass scale. That's right. All right, and that's exactly what's coming. A famine on a level that your mind can't even believe, bro. We're talking about a famine so great that people are going to resort to cannibalism. It tells you that in the book of Baruch. All right, it tells you that in the book of I think it's Deuteronomy or maybe Leviticus. All right. You know, that men, when you go into the Baruch, it says, men shall eat the flesh of their own sons and the flesh of their own daughters. All right. And they're even going to eat the flesh of their own friends. They're going to eat the flesh of their friends. All right. That's how bad this famine is going to be. And all this is being done systematically. All right. Through this war, this U.S. and Israel war with Iran. You know? This is going to collapse the economy. It's going to bring famine. It's going to bring hyperinflation. Bro, things are about to get real stupid out here on a very high and great grand scale, bro. All right, to a point where your mind can't even fathom it. Bro, I'm telling you, man, it's going to get real stupid out here. All right, so I'll leave it at that. Lord willing, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Ratazah, this lesson is or was edifying. Matter of fact, is this video playable? Yeah, it is. All right, let's see if it plays real quick.
I'm Greg Hunter. Welcome to USA Watchdog. My next guest is going to take us to school on the economy and all the fallout that's probably happening, that is happening now, and will probably happen down the road if this continues. No matter which side you're on, we're just going to talk about the money. Of course, I'm going to give it away. We're also going to talk about this wonderful content from this publication, the Solari. Austin Fitz, the publisher of the Solari Report at Solari.com. Catherine, thanks for joining us today on USA Watchdog.
Thank you. I'm close. I'm in Tennessee. So,
oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're stateside on.
Brent crude price snuck over 100, and West Texas was, I think, 95. But
this is a 52-minute video. Maybe, if it be the Lord's will, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Ratazah, if it be the Lord's will, I'll watch this video and pick it apart, and we could do a lesson on it, and it could be edifying. All right, but Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Ratazah. This lesson is or was edifying, called Halalyum, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Quitash. All right, on to the next one. Shalom, shalom.